But it was it was like just completely just absurd behaviour from this person and unnecessary and kind of just f***ed up. It just sounded like a really f***ed up situation. I'm trying to be nice here, okay? This Nickonerd person needs to step away from any sort of like content stuff.
You're just making shit up. You're lying. Sorry. Not sorry, actually. That's if I said that. I'm not sorry. You're a freak.
So here's the situation, right? I watch a video that got posted in my Discord, not in the recommend to watch sort of channel, but in the self-promotion channel from someone called Nickonerd, okay? And it had like barely any views, so I didn't really think much of it. But eventually I got like round to watching it, and it was like basically an ex-mod of Tipster got kicked out of Tipster's server or something, and they made this video and they were like going super hard at Tipster, and it was in the midst of like some other drama that was happening. And so I thought, funny thing. But then they started like revealing this personal information about Tipster, which I didn't think was necessary. It wasn't full-blown doxing, but it was like kind of on the precipice of that. Yeah, it was like how much money he makes and stuff like that, and some other details. And I'm just like, why did you need to reveal this information? Like, it's just so unnecessary. You know, there's just no real need to reveal all of this. You know, you can laugh at Tipster and have a pop at him and talk about him without talking about this level of information. So yeah, I was like, funny. I thought it was funny, but was just kind of bemused as to why they revealed this information. Anyway, they took the video down, and then they said that they wanted to have a conversation with me. Okay. Now, for whatever reason, I think they were kind of schizoing out, sending me a lot of messages. Other stuff was going on. I didn't end up getting them on for a discussion. But then they put a video into my inbox. And in this video, it was like going over the kind of drama that had happened with it. It was 45 minutes long. I watched some of it and it was kind of boring. But then eventually I got to the point in the video that was kind of relevant. And this ex-mod, this Nickonerd person, said that they had spoken to a 16-year-old on Discord in their role as a mod who was like suicidal, sounded vulnerable, sounded like their parents weren't around, to like help them out, and even mentioned that they'd considered or spoken about bringing them closer to them. What? That's insane. Now, I personally didn't label them like a full-blown pedo or something like that, right? But it was it was like just completely just absurd behavior from this person and unnecessary and kind of just fucked up. It just sounded like a really fucked up situation. Was it to live with them? I thought it was just to bring them closer to them in some fashion, like to some sort of thing near them. So yeah, I mean, some people were like almost baying for blood, it felt like, and wanted me to call them like a nonce or something. And it was like, I don't think they're like a pedo, right? But it's definitely totally inappropriate for someone to do that. And even if someone's struggling with something, I just don't think it's appropriate to like try and bring a 16-year-old close to you, regardless of what their personal circumstances are. You know, I mean, it's certainly not something I would ever do. And it's totally reasonable that people will be questioning of that, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It was just very weird. And throughout watching it, I was like, why is this person posting this video for me to watch, that I'm going to see it if it's in my fucking inbox, and they're saying all this crazy shit? Like, obviously I'm going to think this is insane, and I'm not going to be on board with this, and I'm going to be critical of it. And, you know, I was critical of it. I was critical and said it seemed really wrong and they shouldn't do that and all this stuff. And then after that, they sent me more messages, okay? And I'm not going to like leak them or anything, right? It's not necessary. But they sent me all these messages and they were like angry at me because I'd said the things that I'd said in the video, because we put obviously the segment up on the second channel, right? And they said, I don't want you to watch any more of my content. You know, if we're going to speak, it has to be an interview. So I said, sure. Yeah, come on Thursday. Like the Thursday just gone. It was early in the week. So I said, come on this Thursday and we could talk about it then. They then messaged me and said, I can't do Thursday because I've got something happening. And I said, okay, we can do it later. We can do it at the weekend if that works, expecting that, you know, we'd maybe talk at the weekend. And then they messaged me again and said that they're just going to cancel it and move on. And and not speak further, which is fine. You know, I've never any pressure for anyone to come on a stream if they don't want to. That's up to them at the end of the day. And I appreciate that coming on to, you know, over 1,000 people normally is probably not you know, an easy thing to do. So I was like, cool, yeah, leave it there. But then I found out that they'd gone onto Kuihman's stream, and it's been suggested that, you know, the reason that they may have cancelled is because of something that happened in this conversation with Kuihman. Okay, so we're going to watch it, and we're going to see what happened. Hopefully that fills you in enough to understand where we are with this and why I'm talking about such irrelevant stuff. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, in terms of this, like the point is, this Nickonerd person is like a Omegalol. Okay, they're not an important figure. I don't think it's necessary to like spend loads of attention on them and time on them. But you know, I was due to speak to them. Now I'm not, which is fine. But why? What happened in this conversation? So let's find out. Also, the other reason I wanted to watch this is I noticed that, you know, Kuihman is actually playing a game that I played when I was younger.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Watching Dark Vipersberg out trying to make himself a victim is funny. Unfortunately for him, he is at the bottom of the intersectional pyramid.
Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for like a bit.
Right, here we go, guys. Right, anyway, this is the conversation. Sorry, here we go. Right.
Hi.
There's no camera, it's just Kuihman's little
Hi.
VTuber thing. A wiggler.
How's it going, guys?
It's Ninja Gaiden.
So, Nickonerd, you released a few videos recently talking about how you used to be friends with Tipster, right?
Oh, sorry. One more detail as well. I forgot. I didn't even think about this. I forgot about this. Nickonerd also released a video about me that I didn't watch and didn't get around to because I didn't really care that much. But they released a video talking about the response that they gotten in this video that went up on the second channel. That's another detail.
Friendship. Not
You used to be, well, you used to be his moderator.
a viewer. Yeah, for like a bit.
What's a bit? How long's that?
I don't know, like a month or 3. Really not that long.
1 to 3 months, no problem. Okay. And so why did you end up leaving
no.
the moderation team? What's the story there exactly?
I don't know if it was like moderation team. He just kind of like demodded me, and then there was some issues he had with some criticism I said, I guess. I don't know exactly what. He doesn't really tell people, you know, what it is on his mind or what's on his back. He says absolutely nothing, and then just tends to kick or ban people when he feels like it.
So were
This
you
be his thing?
Were you banned too then? Is that what happened?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so why were you banned?
I'm not sure exactly. He hasn't really specified.
Okay, so it wasn't anything to do. Where does the story with this 16-year-old who was in distress come in?
Oh no.
What's that?
Okay,
Where's
so
that come in here?
if you want me to start from the top, she joined in the server around a bit after I started in there, and it was on for a while. She was on talking about a couple topics about things she was going through, this and that.
Like or like about what time frame?
I mean, I don't know if you're on the right mic.
Probably around February, I guess. Was when this happened.
Are we Blackbird as well?
Estimating. Then she comes in. She was very open about being trans in terms of joining the server. I think she was even part of Keffel's server for some time. I don't know how long. But it turned out in a situation she was like having a crisis moment where she was having a meltdown in the general chat. And me and another moderator stepped in to try and help her out. And through some discussions, it turns out that she was going through a lot in school, and she was basically left alone for like a year or 2 already by her parents. Like, this is a situation where she was basically afraid of like being kicked out if they found out
they were away from that. You said the parents were abroad. What is the situation here?
Well, they work overseas.
Okay.
Basically, they never see her or are there for her. Literally.
Okay.
And I would say she's not exactly out to them yet, but she was trying to seek like communities, and I guess worst case scenario.
Oh no. This just sounds terrible. Everything about this sounds horrendous. Why? Like, it sucks. It sucks a kid is having these problems, but like, you as a third party, it's not your business to deal with it. It just isn't. The best you can do is to provide links to support in their area. And that's it. Bang. That's it. Okay? Like, yeah, I mean, it comes cracking the egg. That's what it comes, you know, that's what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is genuinely just they're trying to act in like a reasonable way to help the person out, but particularly with all the narratives that are going around at the moment, it probably just is not worth it, you know?
She came into Keffels and Tipsters groups as a result. So, mostly I was intervening trying to calm her down from suicide, because that was the big issue. And because she was afraid of her parents kicking her out, cutting her off the money they were sending her.
What qualifications have you got to do that? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I offered her assistance because it was actually a really critical situation where she would have been like homeless pretty much. That's why I offered her that.
I guess I would wonder why you're trying to have, or why you're putting yourself in the position where you're trying to talk this person down from suicide. Why you're not referring them to just professional services?
We did. We offered her.
But you shouldn't then get generally you shouldn't then get personally involved. You should just give them
exactly, Kuihman.
Emergency numbers and disconnect, not become involved in the situation.
That's exactly what I would have said. Good job, Kuihman. Unfortunately, this interview has scared them off any further interaction. Apparently. Oh boy.
Generally, what the advice would be.
That's fair. It was a really critical situation.
Well,
it was just an offer. It was one of the offers.
Okay, but why was it?
It was one of the suggestions because
it
became critical to the point where she really exhausted her options. And at some point we offered, okay, maybe you just need to sleep on it for now.
What's she doing now?
Oh no, she's already found a specialist and everything. Everything's fine now.
She's found so she hadn't exhausted her options,
local,
had she?
So, like, God. Oh my God. This person obviously doesn't get it. They don't know. They don't understand. Okay. But like, you trying to interject yourself just looks terrible, especially when you consider that everything has been resolved to the satisfaction of the specialist. So everything's fine. There was no need to interject yourself to that level. And to say that you interjected yourself to that level just makes you look fucking terrible and horrendous. And as much as like they probably didn't expect the stuff to blow up like it did, it did. I mean, also, I feel like this person is being disingenuous when they say they weren't expecting it to blow up, because they were putting it into various Discords for people to look at. And in my Discord, they put it into the self-promo channel, and then it found its way that I saw it, that then I watched it on stream. But like, you clearly wanted people to see this, right? So if you didn't want it to blow up, and it was just you speaking your thoughts, why were you trying to promote it in my Discord and who knows what other Discords, Like, it feels... No, the second one was in the inbox. The first one was in the self-promo channel. But nonetheless, it's still in the Discord of a guy that does drama content and has talked about Tipster in the past. So there's every chance that I might look at it, and then it's going to blow up more, because even at like 1,000 odd viewers, people are then going to go and look at it themselves, and it's going to get spoken about more, and so on and so forth, So yeah, it just seems like a bit of like, oh no, kind of regretting it after it's happened, And the reality of it is, if you put stuff onto the internet, people will look at it. There's no two ways about it. That's it. You just got to accept that.
Gee.
No, but she was going through them to an extent.
But they had, so she hadn't exhausted
her,
okay, sorry. So you're saying she exhausted her options, and that's why you offered a place for her to stay. Yeah. You're telling me now that, well, actually, she hadn't exhausted her options. You just said she hadn't.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where she found it. I directed her to call her local city hall to verify if there was any other options. So she did that eventually. She was obviously in distress. We told her to take a break. It was just one suggestion, but I was just bringing up what happened in a certain scenario in the server. She's on her own, now. She's doing okay.
Yeah, but
as far as I'm aware.
I don't know why you involved. I'm sort of lost on why you involved yourself and why you made an offer for this person to stay with you.
Because in her area, there really wasn't a lot of options.
But they're clearly,
direct resources
there are enough options.
To be assisted here.
What?
No, there are enough options, as I found out that she did find them.
So, but those options obviously existed. They obviously existed the whole time. So the options weren't exhausted, and they did exist.
Sure, but she was.
So you
why? Kuihman is dealing with this very well. He's been very reasonable, very fair. Kuihman is fair. Why is them coming to your house even on the fucking table at all? That should just not be on the table. It's not your business. It's not your concern. It sounds horrendous. It looks terrible. Of inviting them to your house, just absurd. Never. That should never be an option. Even if you are approaching this with a view to get them help, that should be off the table, right? Oh god damn, bro. I don't think they want to molest them. No, I don't think that's true. I don't believe that's true. I think that people want to fucking paint that image. I just think, maybe, at the end of the day, it hasn't happened, so we're never going to fucking know, okay? But I don't think they wanted to molest them. I think they're just completely and utterly retarded, don't understand what this looks like, and they genuinely thought in their retarded mind that they were genuinely trying to help this individual, And they didn't have an understanding of, like, where those boundaries should be, of, like, you shouldn't invite them, try and get them to your house, So yeah, I don't know. I know that a bunch of people are probably like, trans, groomer. I get that. It's fine. I'm not saying that, you're not entitled to have your little perspective on it. I'm just saying that me personally, I'm not seeing a malicious molestation in this case personally, right? Why else? I've just explained. Because in their retarded mind, they think that they're helping. It's like a busybody. It's like being a fucking busybody, A little Discord busybody. Hey, a turf agrees with me, see? But little busybody going, oh, you've got problems, have you? Oh, well, you got to get any help? Well, don't worry, I'll help you out, That's my view on it anyway. When they should have, as has happened now, if they wanted to try and help, point out resources in the area, and maybe at the most extreme is speak to their parents or something like that,
You offered
harassed by some of the social workers.
She was being harassed by social workers.
Yeah,
about being suicidal.
Counselors.
She was being harassed by social workers about being suicidal. That's what you're saying?
And she wasn't going to be quite open. Yes, because other people have been arrested by force for that.
Welcome.
There is a concern of that.
Chud sweeping.
It is a reality in some.
You mean like a 5150 type thing?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you offered her to stay at your house instead? I don't understand the thinking here.
I offered her to come over so that I could direct her to a juvenile center.
Why?
That was my intention.
Oh. Come on! What? Why?
The options were not exhausted.
That's
rough, man.
Okay, proper resources would help her. What resources?
Yeah, I knew that.
Wait, slow down. And this was US to Canada as well. Is that right? So not just across state lines, but across country lines. Someone said it in chat. I don't know. Okay. No, it's not. Okay. You're wrong. Okay. But even so, regardless. Listen, Kuihman knows way more than I do about this. He's covered this extensively. But regardless, I mean, yeah, it's just, there's literally no need to do it. There's no need to fucking do it. Okay. Let's calm down. Let's calm down a little bit. I don't know if this would be considered trafficking, okay? Let's relax. Let's stop using legal terms. Just calm down a little bit. But, I certainly would say that even though I don't know, like, you're potentially opening yourself up to some legal issue, possibly. I mean, it just seems like if you're engaging in this, even if you're 100% well-intentioned, you know, it could be that maybe it's if parents get involved or something.
Money off
hey,
Dark Viper just responded to more of my tweets, Lamau.
They get the say, "I bully bullies." Yeah, I just mentioned that. Yeah, that's funny. Apparently, he's fucking. I'm going to take down I bully bullies. There's nothing else I do. He's going down. Thank you very much for the sex. Oh, the 50 sec. That's kind of weird. The 50 sec. Thank you. Swedish krona is that? Thank you very much.
The resources in my area specifically for juveniles.
Okay.
Because there are centers that help with displaced juveniles of all kinds.
There are resources
like
that in most places in the first world. It doesn't require you to transport to a different country. It doesn't require you to transfer to a different country, does it?
And okay, I understand.
And you can find most of this on Google. Are you personally involved? Sorry, are you personally involved in any of the organizing for any of these organizations, or have you ever worked with them in any way?
I've spoke with communities locally. Yes, I have.
You spoke with communities locally. What does that mean?
Oh, no.
I have access to resources where I could direct someone like that.
Okay, through what?
Through the Women's Center here. There's plenty of other sources.
Okay, you have connections at the Women's Center. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
And you.
I have been to those areas. I have.
And that's the resources for juveniles that you the resources for juveniles that you're intimately familiar with. All the community organizing you know is the Women's Center.
I would direct her to that.
Nickonerd is an international trauma.
Okay, thanks for the 333, but obviously I disavow. Thank you. How old is Kuihman? He's 13. He's 13. That's the point of this conversation. Nickonerd is trying to fucking get Kuihman to her house as well. Her? Their house? I don't know. Nickonerd's trying to get Kuihman round too. For support.
The problem is that there's way more resources here.
It just doesn't sound like you actually. It just doesn't sound like you actually know that much about what the local services or organizations do. Yet you're claiming you do, and that's the reason why you had to invite.
I don't think you do, but you're being argumentative instead of understanding my position.
I'm questioning.
Oh no! Nickonerd's getting a bit punchy. Oh, hello. What's going on here, eh? Yeah. I mean, here's a test, right? Go and speak to one of these local organizations. Hey, I've been talking to this kid on the internet. If you get past that bit, they don't think you're a weirdo. Anyway, they've been expressing suicidal issues and haven't got anyone close to them. What do you recommend I'm concerned about their well-being. What do you recommend I do? I doubt that any of them would say to you, oh yeah, why don't you invite them to your place and then we'll take it from there. They'd probably say, call the police or something like that, you know? Like, yeah, call the police. Why not call the police and do a wellness check? There's a 16-year-old, and you know they're saying they're suicidal. Their family's not around. I don't know what to do, but could you do a wellness check? It sounds quite serious or something. Jesus, man, this is terrible.
Questioning the position that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that you would claim to be so intimately familiar. I understand you're saying you're willing to help this person. It doesn't sound like you did a very good job of it, and it doesn't sound like your goals were very well thought out here.
Everything else was thought out.
I understand why she wanted to talk to Kuihman as she is a 14-year-old egg.
Thank you very much for the tip. Appreciate it.
Gave her plenty of other options.
But it wasn't all thought out because you've already said that you thought all her options were exhausted. That's why you offered her a place to stay. But
yes,
it turned out
and I offered her that as another option. I think
know.
You're hyper-focusing on that issue a little too much, other than the bigger picture that happened. The option.
Well, how is it that
it was just part of what I mentioned and what happened? Okay. Why did I offer her? Because if there wasn't any option she really had, I said at this final resort, you can come here, and I know plenty of resources because in her area,
you don't know the resources.
You're lying. Resources that were hostile.
That's not true.
I do know my own cities.
Okay, but put yourself in like those parents' position, right? Like whether or not they're or not, because like what do you even mean by they weren't around? Like were they literally gone, or
they live overseas? They work overseas. Sorry, they work overseas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So imagine like a kid. So imagine a kid just goes with you. There's no like message. There's no nothing. They just disappear, and their kid's missing. Whether or not they're around or not, that's still their child. And so like then you have that aspect of where it's essentially could turn into like a kidnapping scenario, which puts you in a very dangerous position, whether it's legal or otherwise. And on top of that, like, what if things don't work out between you two? Then that person's on the streets. And what if they don't make it? Or what if something happens on the way? Like, there's so many things that could happen. And on top, if you don't mind me asking,
absolutely, I do agree with your side. That's why we were trying to, as a final resort, I've offered that as a solution. It wasn't that it was the main option I was offering the girl. It was only if she didn't find anything in her area. I'd suggest a local shelter she could try. I told her to get in contact.
If you don't mind me asking, how long have you been out of like homelessness? And by out of homelessness, what exactly do you mean?
5-10 years. I've been homeless. And in terms of that, I have been shelter to shelter. So I'm not one to sleep on the streets.
Technically out of homelessness yet.
Right.
Okay.
And, no, I'm in a unit right now. I'm actually safe now.
Oh, you are?
That's what I'm saying.
For about how long, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now? Oh, absolutely. 5 years.
5 years? Okay. Well, and do you say you're stable as far as like where you're living and your work, and like, do you work?
I wouldn't say I work, but I am in a stable place, yes. I have
wonderful.
Oh,
but how do I make money off depressed people?
I love how these freaks always reach out to kids and it's always for help. A bit strange.
Thank you, an Austrian painter, for the 333. Why? Why you then? Especially, I mean, well, I'm not. Apparently, there's some funny bits there about the eggs, the microwave eggs, so I won't spoil it. But like, it feels like this person is not even necessarily able to look after themselves. So obviously, it's Kuihman, Nickonerd, and I think the other person is Abby Blackbird, I believe. After multiple attempts, Nickonerd finally appears on stream to talk about their experience as a mod for Tipster and the slight they perceive from Chudlogic's coverage. It doesn't take things before things go awry, featuring Stylo and Abby Blackbird.
There's a lot, for me personally, for somebody, whether or not they're trans or whatever, it's a lot for me to think of a 16-year-old going to somebody that's still kind of getting on their feet or just got out on their feet or doesn't necessarily do like the status quo of existing in society, of having a job and having a stable place to live, and going to you and saying, hey, have this kind of life that I'm kind of living, and I know that you are trans or whatever you identify as, but like, you gotta understand.
She was going to end up homeless anyway. That was my concern.
But she didn't end up homeless, did she?
Safer. No, but I'm saying if she had that happen to her, that she could find those places. That's what I was saying.
The reality of it is, there are so many mechanisms in society that exist. As much as people say they don't and claim they don't, there are so many mechanisms that are going to prevent a 16-year-old from being fucking homeless. Okay? Like, if a 16-year-old went to the police station and said, hey, I've got this issue, I'm homeless, okay? Unless it's like a very slim chance the police officer's a fucking weirdo or something, you know, they're going to fucking at least take you in, figure it out, sort you out, help you out and stuff like that. And that's probably the safest place to be, and connect with services to deal with that, you know? Yeah, it's like the police there's too much. There's too much shit that is in place to stop that from happening. Okay? Like, how many times do you see a fucking 16-year-old on the street? That's not true at all. It just is, though. What do you mean? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm too fucking faithful in society. I just do not believe that a 16-year-old is going to allow to be homeless. I think there's always going to be measures that are going to stop that. You know, go to the police, boom. All the time. Really? Where? You live in the USA? Okay. What, and they've made efforts to go and try and sort it out and to go to the police and stuff like that. I don't fucking believe that for a second, man. I do not fucking believe that for a second. That's insane. What if they went to the police station and said, I'm homeless and in danger? And also, this is in Canada too, bear in mind. This is in fucking Canada too. So you're telling me, if a homeless teenager, went into a police station and said, I'm homeless, I'm fucked, I don't know what to do, what would they do? They'd just be like, oh, well, I can't do anything, see you later. They wouldn't do anything to try and assist them. That sounds crazy. That sounds absurd. At 16? Yeah, wouldn't they get sent to some sort of home for kids or something like that eventually? Like they'd put a temporary measure in place. I don't believe you. I don't believe that's true. I think that's absurd. I mean, it's Canada as well. But in America. So a 16-year-old goes to a police station and says, I've had a terrible thing happen. I'm homeless. And I don't know what to do. And they'd be like, well, good luck to you. What? That's crazy. There's just no fucking way. That's absurd. I don't believe you for a second. That's retarded. What, a police officer's going to be like, well, nothing we can do. Get fucked, loser. Skill issue. That's ridiculous. A fucking police officer's going to look them in the eyes, and a teenager, a 16-year-old, and under 18, and say there's nothing we can do to help you. They will find a solution, whatever it is. I do not fucking believe for a second that a police officer is going to turn a 16-year-old away like that. That's absurd.
The last resort if she ended up being kicked out by her parents. That was one of her fears. I was saying if it absolutely comes to that.
What are they supposed to do? Pay your rent? They're supposed to liaise with the local services to figure it out. And if that wasn't possible because it was late at night or something, they would figure something out to make sure that you don't fucking end up like on the street at 16.
That you can come here.
Okay, do you understand how this is a perfect example of why you shouldn't have gotten yourself involved in this situation in the first place? You're not in a position to be making these sorts of decisions. Sorry, but I believe you've said...
Thank you for the $2. Appreciate it. Police have no obligation to help you. Chud, my wife works with kids and the cops literally do not care and rarely contact support groups. Okay, wow. I just don't believe that. I think that's crazy. The idea you go to a police officer and they do nothing if you're 16. They just look you in the eyes and go, well, nothing we can do. And they let you walk back out into the cold in the middle of the night. Come on now. They don't turn them away.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, I am going to teach chat the proper way to handle a situation like this. Oh, you are 16? Tell your parents and block them on Discord. There is no reason to talk to a child on Discord.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't believe you. I think you're just fucking wrapped up in this retarded perspective that the police are just bad, ACAB. If a 16-year-old went to a police officer, I do not believe that they would just get turned away and told to get fucked. I think there would be some effort to help, at least. So at least they got a fucking somewhere to sleep for the night. And then they go from there.
In a video that you have hoarding issues, do you think that's an environment to be inviting a child to?
Do you assume that the hoarding is bad enough that I would invite the child?
I think any amount of
any hoarding,
if you're inviting a child, any hoarding if you're inviting a child.
No, it's hoarding in a certain level. Of course, I clean up.
There's not an acceptable
hoarding
level
is
of
a side effect
hoarding.
Hoarding is a side effect from homelessness that is something that needs to be continually worked on. I know because I've stuff that but that's what he's trying to tell you. Like you still have your own stuff to work on and even offering it as a last resort. I'm trying to level with you.
Abby. It's okay. Let me just explain. Because of the place she was in was very hostile. There's a lot of shootings. There's a lot
I 100% understand. I 100% understand.
That's why I say the places here were safer, and there's a lot safer places. It was
I
was 16. Up that way.
I almost really hitchhiked across fucking America.
It's not the cops are bad. It's the fucking shelters and foster systems that are bad. Wait a second. Wait, hang on. You understand there's a different argument between the cops do nothing, okay, which the suggestion is they literally do nothing and let the kid walk back out into the street, versus the cops do something, but the place they go to may not be safe because a halfway house or a shelter might not be ideal. Those are two very different fucking things that you're saying there, okay? That's not the same thing, is it? Like, they're helping, but you're arguing, well, they're putting them in an imperfect situation. Well, that might be true. That could be possible, right? Okay? But having a roof over your fucking head is going to be better, on average, more than likely, 99% of the time, than sleeping in the fucking street, right?
America to get the fuck away from my parents. I get it. I understand what you're saying. I luckily had a pastor help me and talk to me that my parents knew, and they calm me down. But that's a credible resource. That's somebody that actually works with teenagers, works with those people, and does what they need to do.
Accountable to local community isn't some random online.
And that's what I was trying to.
But it's not what you were trying to do. You were trying to remove this person from the environment they were in. You were trying to separate them from their pre-existing connections.
And maybe a 5150 call is a good way to go. Like
I wasn't just removing her out.
To me, like. You know what I mean?
I was just saying.
Randoms on the internet.
Wait. Abby, hold on. Let Nico explain what's up. Sorry.
I only gave her that option as a last resort if she ended up on the street and she had nothing else to go to. I absolutely gave her the options. I told her to go to City Hall first. And I believe she did. I don't know exactly what she did. She found support, thankfully. I don't know who she found to talk to. She didn't open up with that. As far as that go, that's her business right now, and I assume she's out of that place by now, hopefully. So, like, the girl is certainly going through a lot. We just wanted to offer her some options so that she wasn't completely, like, left alone. And in terms of if you're concerned about my position, I have plenty of ways to get things that I need just fine. That's why I'm saying that everything's perfect.
Chud, the police just guide the use to the nearest Discord mod. Here's a list of houses of all the Discord mods in the local area. Go down the list, and the first one that will let you in, stay there for the night. You'll be laughing, okay? Simple. Very simple.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud, the cops would obviously mag dump sent en masse.
Okay.
They're trained to do it.
Thank you for the super chat, Edgar. Appreciate it.
Perfectly okay if I had the option of that to help her, to extend that. I just wanted to extend a hand.
If they're black,
like,
if
it's
they're black.
absolutely necessary, if it absolutely comes to that.
It's just totally inappropriate for you to be extending that hand, and the reasons you've given for extending it are bizarre. The idea that you've got connections, well, you call yourself a digital activist. Can you explain that more as well?
Oh no.
Like, in terms of sharing information online, yes, I have talked a bit on that.
Yeah. So I'm just curious because it seems like you're talking about, all these people in the community, all this stuff about emulation, all these people in the emulator scene.
Canada, if 16-year female reports homelessness, police contact Child Protective Services, CPS may place foster care, shelter, provide social services, counseling, health care, ensure safety, well-being.
Thank you for the $10. This Nickonerd person, yeah, Kuihman is doing a great job with this, 100%. I wouldn't expect anything less, okay? Although we all know his perspective on the LGBTs. But yeah, I mean, Nickonerd, it just needs to go off the internet, okay? They're not cut out for this. They can't handle the attention when they're posting their videos around to get attention on it. They want to just be able to say their fucking piece and people not see it. I just think their best bet is engage, go in Discords if channels that you like, and go into chat, whatever you want to do. But they clearly cannot cope with putting themselves front and center like this. And they just say a bunch of stuff that makes them look horrendous too, Just be a chatter, okay? And that's fine. You can have your fun and say your piece. But this is just crazy. This is a crazy discussion.
You know all about digital activism. You're a digital activist who's done all this stuff, but it just doesn't seem like there's any evidence of that. And it just seems like constantly, whenever I press you on... I
was talking on the side with other people. Now, if
when I just pressed you on your connections with local community resources, it seemed like you had nothing. You just turned around. You told me that you had all these. You knew everything about all these juvenile services that exist in your city. Then when I pressed, the only thing you mentioned is, I was going to refer to the women's centre.
Nothing though. And you
no, but it doesn't say. But you talked up quite a lot. So I would just like to hear a little bit, if you could, talking your digital.
No, you assume I don't have the ability just because of that. Just because I mentioned a few resources. I absolutely know local resources.
No, I asked you about local resources, and you didn't seem to be able to talk about it at any length or with any depth. Even though I repeatedly
into how much depth.
So you said
shelters.
What do you know about? Yeah. What do you know about local? What do you know about your local juvenile resources, other than just that there's a women's centre?
There is juvenile center there as well. There is juvenile connect.
Dude, I'm a father, and I don't know anything about what resources are available in the local area for kids. It's like quite specialized information and knowledge that you need to have to actually be able to deal with that. What? This is an L. This is a Nickonerd L. I'm afraid to say, from the sounds of it so far.
Services specifically for juveniles that are located in this area, more so than where she was living.
Okay, you keep saying there's juvenile services specifically for juveniles located in this area, more so than in her area. You're not actually saying, you're not telling me anything about the services in your area or anything. You're not displaying any level of knowledge or familiarity with the systems or organizations that are in your area, despite claiming that you had so much knowledge.
Google search on the map.
It would be a quick Google search in her place as well. Do you understand how this doesn't make any sense?
Yes, that is correct.
The reasoning.
I didn't find any juvenile resources.
But the reasoning you gave was that you were familiar with the resources in your area, so it would be better for this girl to come to you.
Absolutely.
But you're not familiar with the resources in your area. You're saying you need to Google them.
People and volunteers here being a lot safer than the ones in her area.
Based on what?
That was why. based on the fact that I've had personal experiences with these organizations that are helping people.
Have you had personal experiences with the ones in her area?
Not directly, but I know.
Well, then how would you know that? Then how would you know the ones in your area are so much safer? How would you know the ones in your area are so much safer?
Because there are specific interracial services that deal with people of her, ethnicity as well.
I'm all about.
In terms of that, there are very specialized resources for that as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of like other ethnicities, minority. That was part of it.
Okay, so tell us about the digital activism then.
Well, I've been around sharing information with whoever. Been in a couple of chats, sharing important things.
No.
In general, with that Illuminati topic I brought up with Tipster, but before that, I brought up other.
So you talk about drama in Discord. Is that what you mean by digital activism?
In terms of certain information that benefits activist motives, absolutely.
So you
point.
Right. So you just talk about stuff in Discord. That's your digital activism.
Sharing direct information about the Illuminati issue and other information like with Owen. Is it his online name? Owen Morgan. I shared him.
You mean posting like content links, like content suggestion links, right? You mean like watching YouTube videos and saying
news, articles, anything related to the prevalent issues.
Okay, yeah.
No.
There's enough people that do that as well, I'm sure.
No. Why do you have to put this digital activist? You're not a digital activist, you're just a chat. Why people like this, man? I don't understand. It's so insane. I'm a cyber activist. It's fine. Okay, this is why I don't think, I know people, they're a fucking pedo. I don't think they're a pedo because they think a lot of themselves, right? And they clearly think that trying to help this person out is like a big thing that they have to do because they've got a big perspective on themselves. It's like, it's like a savior complex. Exactly. Yes, you've got it. Yes. Like a savior complex from this, which has now put them in a position where they said a bunch of stuff that people are going to look at and think, yeah, this person's a fucking groomer because it sounds like that, So the big-headedness and the fucking self-importance has kind of like massively worked against them. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, they just don't call themselves digital activists. They call themselves like the HNT or diggers or
okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe €2.
So what else was there? Fuck. Abby, have you got anything here? Let me just see if I've got anything else.
I guess.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Sorry. I had to ask. Was there? You said that in your last video, Nickonerd, that you knew someone in the emulator community who had been harassed by Kiwi Farm. So, do you want to talk about that at all?
I'm not sure the full information, but it was one that created the Super Nintendo emulator.
Oh, did you know them?
Trans. Not directly, but the community does.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. I don't have the information on that yet.
You thought okay, so you didn't know Bu. You just sort of said you did. Okay, got you. All right, Abby, go for it. Sorry.
No, I didn't mean that I knew him or said I did. I meant that I knew people in the community that have connections to him. But in terms of that, yeah, the community does tend to know each other, even though we don't directly talk.
Right.
In that sense, if it makes sense.
Sort of like a hive mind, almost. Like a psychic link.
No. Lots of people discuss different emulation and that between the communities. Happens all the time.
I mean, yeah, this has got the hallmarks of a kind of I didn't know about any of this, obviously. This is like the hallmarks of a very self-important person that wants to present they've got these connections when they don't really have these connections. Oh, this is rough, man. This is very rough. Uh-oh.
Especially when it was a pretty big deal that they were gone and that the death certificate was shared within my community. So, yeah, it becomes pretty personal.
Yeah, I can imagine. Abby, did you want to ask about Tipster?
I did. I have a few questions. We'll kind of go back a little bit. So it kind of seemed like you were kind of new to like YouTube space. Is that correct? That I got from the first video?
Yeah. I wasn't really intending that to be too viral.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand that. But before we get there, real quick, how long have you been in I guess watching YouTube videos is a good part, and like what community did you start in? I guess is a good way to start.
In terms of what, like way
like
back?
Were you in Keffel's community? Were you watching like? Did you start watching the videos more often like 2 years ago? Like, where did you kind of start with all that? Because how did you end up at Tipster? It's kind of
with Keffel's and Tipster. And I'm not quite sure. I think I was looking for somebody to give more information on the Illuminati issue, since sharing it with him was my intention to make it a bigger story. But sharing it in his community also by proxy gets shared to other communities too. So in that sense,
are we talking about YouTube Illuminati? Just to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, just making sure. Yeah. Okay, so
I felt like at the time that he had the good voice for that topic, so that's why.
Oh no.
That's
and
why
were you aware of like all the prior commentary stuff that had happened and like him leaving?
No, because like literally I was off of YouTube for those couple of years.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't catch all that.
And so then, because he was already ingrained with Keffels at that point, I'm assuming. So did you kind of merge over there as well?
By proxy, kind of like
in Xanderhall.
Yeah, I was in and out of his live streams, and then.
So how long have you been doing this online activism for then?
A couple of years in and out.
This is the type of people Tips shows as a mod. Well, listen, mods come and go, don't they? Mods come and go. We all have mods that come and go over time. I think that I don't know. They just need to delete their accounts and not engage in internet shit and not do this. Like they're literally just digging themselves a bigger and bigger hole for no reason. There's literally no reason whatsoever for them to do any of this, say any of this, go and speak to Kuihman, go speak to me even. I mean, obviously, after we put the video out and they were like angry at me, I thought, yeah, well, fuck it, bring them on, talk about this fucking alleged groomer shit. But, they're clearly not cut out for this, and they're just totally fucking up their own situation by engaging in this. Mods come and go, but autism is forever. True. And the thing is as well, is like, look, I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit down and watch every single fucking video that comes out about me, because whatever, make your fucking video. But they put out a video about me. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what's in it. And I don't even know if it's still up. But like, why? That's only going to potentially provoke a response from me, which could mean that you get more shit and more bad attention and stuff like that, like, which you've caused by continuing to respond and stuff. It's just not necessary, I'm fine, but chat, you guys are fucking stupid. Even in the US, the cops are called CPS for a 16 claiming to be homeless. Retards, retards, retards. Thank you.
So, okay. Sorry, trying to think about how I want to direct that. So you were closer to Tipster? Like, did you guys talk one-on-one, or was this kind of like you just existed there?
I just kind of joined the community, and he needed some extra mods and appointed me.
Yeah, I mean,
like otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, no, I got modded and demodded in less than a week, so life happens. But I also didn't. What do you know? Like the basic internet rules of like not doxing people.
Here we go.
Yes, there is a law that says not to reveal too much information.
Yeah.
No, I tried to do it within the bounds of what I figured was legal, but of course I realized that video was overkill. And it was dumb.
Okay. I'm glad that they're getting called out for that, because obviously, look, it's very funny to meme on someone, but I am a very big believer in keeping a separation between the real world and the internet stuff, right? And unless someone is definitively committing an illegal act, yeah, I just don't agree with like publicizing information about someone that could lead to on YouTube, for example. I just think it's I'm just not a fan of doxing. I just don't think doxing is good. I think sharing information about someone is bad. Isn't that the same justification Kiwi Farms use? What you mean in terms of Nickonerd? I mean, it is like a Kiwi Farms thing. Yeah, it's like doing a Kiwi Farms type thing, revealing the information because they're a bad person.
Ironic that the only channel growth Tipster has recently had came with the Illuminati drama, and this is the ultimate result.
Thank you very much for the $5. But yeah, I mean, I think that the thing is with Kiwi Farms is I've always said that I don't like the doxing aspect. It's just that for that website, their principle is if it's allowed under the First Amendment, it's allowed. So that's their rule, and that's what they go by. So they have the fucking doxing stuff on there. But the thing is like, I also do think, though, that even if you're doxed, that would suck. But it's the person that takes the action that's the issue. That's always the issue. It's the person that takes some act and takes it outside of the internet that does that, you know? But I think the problem, if you're doing a public-facing video, and I don't know if Nickonerd did this necessarily, but I think there's a tendency for people to share that information. Like that guy from TikTok, what's his name? Fucking Tizzy Ent's a great example of this, where he'll throw the information up and he'll kind of dox the person, which is apparently allowed on TikTok, I guess, that you can show private information like that, of like, oh, this is their business or something. Or you can show public information that maybe the person wouldn't want shown. I don't fucking know. But then you go, this person's really bad. Here's their fucking private information, or here's their business. And then you're basically pointing at them at, like a barrel of the gun. You're fucking pointing the audience at that business, right? Which is, I just think is fucked always. I totally disagree with that. I don't think Nickonerd quite went to that level, but it's like getting there somewhat. And also showing the financial stuff was just totally absurd. Like there was no reason to do that whatsoever. Like even if you fucking despise Tipster, I don't think it's necessary that you would need to know how much information he makes, how much money he makes, right?
I won't deny that.
You want to be a content creator, you told me?
Not really.
But you just said that to me.
Kind of, but not really. I said I really didn't want to be. It's not that I intended
to. All this stuff is what
Thanks for the sub.
Well, no, that's not exactly what I meant in the video at all. The rough talk of the video was for like past followers.
Chud, I am an online activist. I like to sit in my basement on Discord and do Google searches while eating tinned ravioli and Doritos. I am the most important and demands respect. Respect my pronouns, Nazi.
Thank you very much for the 333. Here's my thing with Kiwi Farms. I don't like doxing and I don't think people should do it, but it's kind of inevitable if you make yourself a public enemy, and principally if a site wants to be the definitive source of information, then I think it's understandable not to have a rule against it. Yeah, it's like, you know, I disagree with what you do, but I think it's worth defending your right to do it, right? I don't know. I certainly don't think that it's a reason that you should be able to circumvent the law and take a website down, right? Like, to me, circumventing the law to try and take someone's website down is worse than posting someone's address, right? Why is everyone saying soy?
Of another channel I had that came over. So when it came out a little bit further, yes, the information was shared to an extent. Now, I did say it was overkill, that video, but it was shared to an extent for people who wanted to know that information. That
do you intend on making more like videos and stuff, like just about anything?
I wanted to do gaming mainly. It wasn't like really important on my list.
So you're still making content, just one-off. What you still want to do, whether or not it's a video or streaming or whatever, right?
I guess.
So I'm kind of just trying to tell you that like there's optics to all this stuff. Like what's important in the law and what's important online are going to be relatively similar, but also have varying degrees of severity. So like when you do something that's like roughly doxing, where Tipster exists and where his job is, it's kind of hard to like you're going to get a lot of ridicule for that. Like, do you understand that is why that happened? I realize that now. No, honestly, I was just putting it on.
Sorry, I suppose just 1 second. I suppose on that topic, Nickonerd, is it true you're upset about the sort of Chud reacting to your video on stream? Do you want to talk about that a little bit? I heard you had some issues with the way Chud treated the situation.
Oh, that's awkward, isn't it? That's awkward, hey? Uh-oh.
I can't remember exactly what I said in my last video on it. It was more so how it was just really focused on, like, automatically make me out like I was being a creep. I wasn't trying to be. Yeah, I suppose it wasn't really the best option, but in terms of like how I was explaining it, it didn't come off exact.
I suppose more specifically.
Like I say, I'm not really.
Okay, right. I think it had like a bit of a spicy title. It's all about self-snitching and stuff, but I am fair, and I feel like I was quite fair. I think I gave the right measure of criticism, and I think that I did describe it, I think, as maybe creepy or weird or something, you know, but I didn't call them a pedophile. I didn't say that they were like trying to molest anyone or something like that. You know, I think I was quite reasonable in my coverage, as I always am, because Chud is fair. So, yeah, I don't know. And I think there was even people in chat that wanted me to say more, wanted me to go harder, which is like, I mean, the only level I could have gone to was to claim that they were trying to molest the kid, which I just don't personally think is the case, you know? So it's fine. I understand, you know, this person is obviously a very small fry person in the grand scheme of things. They're probably a bit bothered by the fact the video's gone up, it's got a bunch of views. But, you know, I'm very much of the opinion that if you put something on the internet, if you willingly put something on the internet and someone looks at it and talks about it, well, you shouldn't have put the thing on the internet that you didn't want people to look at and talk about. And I guess I'm just a bit kind of bemused as to like, well, what would you expect me, I mean, maybe they don't know I'm a father, but what would you expect me as a father to think about someone talking to a 16-year-old that's vulnerable in a way that seemed to be getting them to your house, even if it's to help them? You know, like, look at it from that perspective. Like, if my daughter was 16 and they were talking to someone who was trying to move them to their house, like, obviously I would have a massive fucking problem with that. And I would call the police. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what I said. I said, if I found out that was happening, I'd speak to the authorities and figure out what's going on, because it sounds very fucking dangerous and risky and stuff, you know? But in any case, I was fair, as always. I don't think I did anything wrong in terms of the way I covered it. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hash it out because they cancelled the conversation with me.
Chud is the fairest of my best friends.
Very true. You are my best friend. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it.
Really used to
the way he used his platform. You said something about, you know, blasting it to his audience and that you didn't want it blasted.
Well,
it seemed like you did.
That's just it. Like, no, I posted it there to be shared to other. It finds its way to Tipster because I'm not in a server anymore.
Okay.
So I wanted more so.
What? You wanted it to find its way to Tipster? Okay, this person is just delusional.
Look, my options are usually when there's a channel that sells self-promotion in a Discord channel. Often that's just to share amongst the people within the Discord server. I have not seen a channel that does what Chud does with it. So that was just kind of new to me.
What do you mean?
My thing was, if he wants to...
It's a public Discord server, and anyone can go in there and just look at the channel and see what's posted there if they want to find new content to look at. Or, I mean,
that's right, but usually the...
God, there's so much going on. Sorry, I accidentally clicked something on Twitter. Thank you very much for the $10. Hey, Bottle Sucker, appreciate you. Chud is as smart as my Discord kittens. Thank you very much for the $10. Appreciate it. Sorry,
my thing was, if he wants to...
It's a public Discord server, and anyone can go in there and just look at the channel and see what's posted there if they want to find new content to look at, or... I mean, that's what it's...
That's right, but usually the content creator doesn't meddle with what's in self-promotion. That's why.
Sure, but the second video you put in Chud's inbox, though, right? And so that...
Well, the thing is, that is true, that I don't check the self-promotion channel ever, because normally it's just a streamer shilling their stuff. I've thought about getting rid of it from time to time, but I don't really care that much. But yeah, I'm just looking through it now. Yeah, and there's nothing really in here that I would pick out and be like, yeah, I really want to watch that in particular, you know? But I don't think I looked in the Discord there and it happened. It's just someone saw it and then it ended up getting posted, I think, in my kind of inbox or React Handy suggestions. And then I was like, oh, what's this? And then I watched it, you know? So if you're putting it into a Discord, self-promo is cringe. I used to self-promo when I was a small channel. But to be honest with you, it doesn't do anything for you. You going around to all these Discord and posting your videos, it just doesn't help. It doesn't really help your channel, okay? Reddit can be good. Going and promoting on Reddit can maybe get you some views. But just a Discord, it just gets lost in the noise, I think. But yeah, I think... Sure, you didn't post it for me to look at necessarily. The second video, Nickonerd did. But the first one, it still ended up being passed to me, right? So.
And I didn't appreciate how he overreacted to what I was saying. That was all. because it might have been out of context. It doesn't sound exactly the best thing to say. But in terms of that, I guess I wasn't really paying attention to what I said because it was kind of on a tangent as well. Okay. Most of my video was pertaining to addressing the other video that I made.
So why did you make the initial video? You made it. Did you think it was important to spread the word, or what was the motivation here? Because I don't understand how you're squaring the circle of, yeah, so I made this video about a relevant trending drama topic, shitting on a guy that everyone else is shitting on, posted it publicly on YouTube, put it in a self-promotion channel in Discord. But
I have a feeling this skinwalker wanted the tip. And when Tippy banned her, she went schizo scorned lover. This bitch is insane.
Thank you, and Austrian Paints with 333.
Didn't want a lot of people to see it.
Well, I didn't expect the amount of reach it had to Chud's live stream. My point was I overthought the information. I thought, like, if I'm going to say that Tipster is getting this much, then I got to provide some sort of receipt. And I overdid it. Obviously, I overkilled it. And Chud did address that. And that was what I was working on to cut it out for later. But, like, at this point, I don't even know if it really matters anymore.
You also claimed that Tipster was sending DMs to minors asking if they wanted to see his tip. Is that what's the deal with that?
There was a situation where that was actually a conversation amongst another streamer, I think. Sorry if I can't remember who. I'm not good with names.
Okay.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Okay, but
that is absurd. Like, look, have a pop at Tipster, have a laugh about it, but it is totally insane to suggest that. That's mental. Where's Nicholas Diorio? Nicholas! Come on, where are you, bro?
Did you see any of this stuff happen with like the Minecraft people lately? Or, like she got tickled and everybody like canceled them over nothing?
Yeah, actually I heard that.
Okay, so could you understand why people would get concerned at minimum with somebody saying that they talked to a 16-year-old and told them that they could come to their house?
I understand there's a lot of that going on. I just find that if you're going to pick apart something like that, like you're going to need evidence to back up that claim. If you're going to accuse someone of a creep, at least have some other evidence with it.
Well, it's
I do
inherently
understand how it
creepy
can come
to
off.
most. It's inherently creepy to most, especially with how this side of the internet is. Like even in Tipster's old content, he would probably agree, and because that was what you used to watch, right? That like an older adult, like over at any age of 18, let's just say 25 and older, saying, "Hey, you can come stay with me at 17 or 16," is gonna come off bad. I mean, the guy just endgamed over it recently. Okay,
but let me point this out. The other moderator who was with me encouraged it and said that they that the teenagers should
be
trust me.
Checked too. I don't know.
Well, there you go. Like if that was what Tipster was pissed off about, then go after the other moderator too. That became his goth mommy recently.
Oh, don't expect people to be fair online. Tipster's never been fair.
Oh, I know. It's just, it's ridiculous because she was there trying to help out this girl as well.
Yeah, Green Lobster. It's true. Yeah. Imagine unironically saying Tipster was chatting with a minor when you're telling everyone you're trying to lure a minor to your house. There's no information or evidence or anything that I've seen that suggests that's the case with Tipster. I totally reject any idea that's the case without any evidence because, I mean, I hate the fact that, like, nothing can just be funny and you can mock someone without something like that coming into the foreground. You know, it's like, just have fun with it. Just mock. Just poke fun at someone. You know, they don't have to be a fucking groomer for you to want to say. It's just so stupid, man, you know? And especially, yes, exactly, when they have got their own fucking thing going on too. This comes across like a projection almost, you know?
And decides to all of a sudden fuck off and decide.
I mean, if that's the reason that Tipster demodded this person, yeah, Tipster was right. Tipster was right to do that. Exactly. Yes, Mavka knows. Look, Mavka knows. Tipster's interest is goth mummies, not goth daughters.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
How will this affect Tipster's legacy?
Good question. Thank you, Sliggins, for the $5. What do you know about this Labour politician, Harriet Harman? Is she? I don't know anything about that person, though, of what you're saying.
I'd just say that the girl is crazy and blah blah blah. Like I hate this dismissal. Like the girl was hurt by that.
Same thing to Colton. To be fair, Colton is fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, Colton.
Yep.
I don't know. He says that to a lot of people. He just like blows up. He did it to another closer friend of his too.
Okay, sorry. I have a lot of requests asking about the microwave eggs. Can you elaborate on those?
The microwave
there's just a video on
eggs.
TikTok. I don't know what.
The microwave eggs. Oh, come on. That's silly. Really? We're really going to microwave eggs? Are you serious right now? What is this? Dude, come on.
What's the big deal about that? Yeah. I don't know what the issue about that is. It's just a video on
TikTok. I agree. This is a retarded line of questioning, and I agree. All
right, okay, back to the point.
Hey! Look at that, see? Me and Kuihman, bang on the money. It can be funny to pull a question from chat, but I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you're talking about all this important stuff, and it's like, what about this video? Then what about this autist shit of you microwaving eggs? You know, Kuihman's sweeping. Kuihman is sweeping for the microwave eggs. No, wait. Hang on a minute. Right? Did I hear this correctly? Kuihman microwaves eggs too. Is that why? Oh my God, Kuihman is sweeping for his own egg microwaving. Can you believe it?
Okay, so what did the parents, back to the kid, with the parents, what did you know that they knew about her or them, whatever, being suicidal or whatever they were going through?
But you know what, guys? I've got to be honest with you. Okay? I've got to come clean about something. I have been known to microwave eggs from time to time. Okay? It's happened. It happens to the best of us, okay? Happens to the best of us. Using a pan is obviously superior, okay? 100% using a pan is superior. It happens. English taste buds, yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Hey,
but
thanks for the $5.
Money off depressed people.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all? Chudlogic is the fairest in the land.
But yeah, I wouldn't do it now. I mean, the thing is, I think some people have only got a microwave, though, for cooking and stuff, you know? Or they've got quite small space. So it can be difficult to, you know, there's some where there's only like 2 pans. You get 2 slots to have a pan on, right? So maybe you use those for other things. You boil something, you fry something, there's not enough room in the pan, put them in the microwave. Something like that. I'm sweeping. I am sweeping. Stop being poor. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, microwaving eggs is the sign of youthful retardation, okay? Not a grown-up living life correctly. Like, you should just use a pan to heat your eggs up. It's so simple, you know? But he who is not microwaved eggs cast the first shell. How about that?
They definitely opened up about wanting to give up and just give up on everything that they were trying to live for. That's why. It was, I don't know the exact full conversation. I couldn't give you the word-for-word details, but it was pretty obvious she was in a meltdown crisis in the chat. Like, that was the thing. The fact that when she mentioned that her parents were not there at all times, that's when we were, like, trying to pitch in. My issue is just when servers treat people in a crisis like that as, like, we can't handle it and just kick them out as if that's going to help.
But you can't.
I don't think anybody.
Yeah, no, wait, but you can't handle it. That you should kick them out. That's the right thing to do.
Depends. I disagree, but
you've already shown you've displayed ineptitude. You've shown irresponsibility and poor decision making. You've said that you're a hoarder. Yet you invited the 16-year-old to live with you. You were offering that as an option, despite not having.
I mentioned I was a hoarder as like something I struggle with, but that doesn't mean I'm not capable of helping someone.
You've admitted that you don't actually know about the local services and organisations that exist to help young people. Yet you are offering this person to come and live with you anyway. So you've displayed.
But she keeps cycling back to this, not knowing my local services when I have looked into it.
But you clearly don't.
I absolutely do.
You acted like you were very familiar with them, like you could get them set up super easy. You weren't. You were Google searching stuff.
I'm familiar with the services that will set them up to that, exactly.
Okay, well, the point is that you've shown irresponsibility, and you injecting yourself into that situation is more likely to have a negative outcome.
You can keep calling it irresponsibility. I stepped up to become a mentor and to help this person if they were in depths with me.
Oh no, they're trying to... Maybe there's a salvage here. Maybe there's a salvage, possibly. Okay, look, I understand people think it's weird. Genuinely, I was just trying to help. I recognize now that it was wrong of me to do that, and I appreciate why everyone looks that way, but I can assure you I'm not, never have been, nor never would groom, molest a child or something, right? Okay? Maybe that might be something, but now they're trying to call themselves a mentor. Oh, no. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Not good, not good.
It's not your job. You should not be a mentor. You should not be putting yourself in that situation. That is irresponsible.
Oh, well, that's your opinion. I offered that as an option.
Oh, well, this is about, you're claiming to care
because
about
you
this
cycle
miner's
back
welfare.
and forth.
You're claiming to care about this
You
miner's
dismiss
welfare.
my knowledge. You dismiss what I know,
because you're
how
displaying
I
that you
understand
lack
that.
knowledge. You are displaying that you lack knowledge.
They are perfectly fine right now because we were able to de-escalate the situation. It was an offer.
I'd say that you are able to go and like get the help you need when you need it, and that's not necessarily like a stable person. And I'm just again, I'm just trying to say from my experience, like I would want somebody that has like a stable
because
home and
I struggle
income and actually goes and work. I'm not saying that.
No, but you are saying that just because I'm getting help I need, that I'm not stable. So I deal with depression. That doesn't mean I'm not intelligent, and I.
Oh. Listen, this coverage is not. Listen, okay. I'm trying to be nice here, okay? This Nickonerd person needs to step away from any sort of like content stuff. Obviously, they can do whatever they want to do. My advice is to step away from it, cancel any fucking content you want to do, and focus on getting your life in order and be a participant in content that you like, be a chatter, something like that, okay? Do not try and make a fucking go of this. Do not try and make a go of making fucking content, because you are not cut out for this and you're going to get torn to shreds at every possible fucking opportunity and turn, okay? I don't have trolls remorse at all. I feel very happy. Yeah, how can you say I got trolls remorse after I spent all that time covering that fucking bug-eyed woman yesterday? Come on. Or Matt, whatever non-binary. Queerly B, or whatever the name is. Come on now. At least Queerly B's got a fucking platform of some substance, at least. Nickonerd's got, what, a 40 sub YouTube channel or something? Ex-Tipster mod. Not much there to go on, is there, really?
I can't deal with being stable on a regular day. All right?
But you still...
on an everyday basis, That's fine. What? I still struggle with clinical depression. That's normal for a lot of people.
Okay. I have anxiety, PTSD, and depression. Doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm just trying to say, like, it doesn't change the fact that, like, you still go in and get outside help. That, like, from what I understand, do you have like a 40-hour work week? Like, do you go to work every day or 4 times, 6, however many days a week?
Is that necessary to become a mentor?
I think
having your life having your life together is a prerequisite of being a mentor.
I disagree. That's people.
You should have just tried to say you mentored Alice.
Thank you very much for the 333. I appreciate it.
It's just status quo bullshit.
It's just
you can go on about that.
Interfacing with society, learning to interface with society in a responsible way, where you can achieve your goals and sustain yourself.
With society, you don't think I go out and socialize and interface with people?
Is a key part of you don't interface. You don't interface. Sorry, excuse me. Stop talking for a moment, Nico.
Oh no.
You don't think I interface with people? That is already incorrect.
You don't have a job. You don't have a job. You don't have a. You're not.
I have worked for a company, and then that happened that they fired me. You want to go into that fucking story?
Yeah, please.
You're absolutely ridiculous.
Oh no. Why? Why? Why are they doing this to themselves, dude? Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you having this conversation at all? Why are you not having it on my stream?
Well, how did you get fired from your job?
I didn't do nothing. It was fiscal year. They were making cuts.
How long ago was that?
Oh, 5 years ago as well.
5 years ago.
In fairness, I think they do come back. I mean, we're only halfway
Okay,
through.
that's
They
wonderful.
come back,
But
guys.
how do I make money
They come
off
back.
depressed people?
They come back.
This chubby skinwalker has an importance complex to schizo levels. Insane person should be banned from all discords. Take away this beast's internet. My prescription is remove this creature from online discourse. The crying is making me smile.
Well, thank you, an Austrian painter, for the 333.
It is possible to but that's, I'm just, okay, let me start over. I've done that. I've been there. I got fired twice, or got let go twice because of COVID, same job. Obviously the world stopped and then I lost my job. So I didn't have work for a minute, and then getting back on your feet is hard, 100%. But it is possible. And that's all I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it is a Kuihman win, Chud. I could have had them on before the video they released, so I could have had them on after the tipster thing to speak to them about that. But it wasn't until the second video where they spoke about engaging with the 16-year-old, talking to the 16-year-old, that would have been part of the conversation. And I'd set that up afterwards because they were mad at me about my takes. But unfortunately, I'd arranged it for Thursday, and then because I wasn't streaming until then, and then Thursday came around, and they said, I can't do it at the weekend. And then they messaged me and said, I don't want to do it anymore. And I think it's because of what happened here, you know? But it's all good. This is fun. I'm having fun watching this. Yeah, I mean, this Nickonerd person, again, this is yet more evidence they just need to get offline. Go and get a job. Go and sort your life out. Go and get your shit together, you know? That's it.
I personally have been
getting back on my feet. How
I could never, especially if a kid that I do not know, I could never, in my position, offer a place to stay to anybody else, let alone a kid who needs solid support and help.
Now, absolutely, I do agree. That's why I was going to bring her to another resource. Obviously, her parents were not being stable and supportive. That was my concern. As far as that goes, I am on disability. I have a place where I'm at right now with a roommate, and we get along extremely well. In terms of that, I have way too many issues where I can't work just any regular job.
For sure. I still get emails about stay at home, work from home jobs. I get emails about part-time jobs. I'm actually about to cut my work down because of my injuries that I have from my car accident, but like I do not like it. Like I want to be able to do the most, but sometimes you got to work with the life and the restrictions and all that stuff that you have.
Jesus Christ,
like
man.
Just stopping and not going forward and just like being okay with the circumstances is again, it's kind of hard for me to be like, oh yeah, you're an activist when or you're trying to help all these kids or give them the right direction when like you're not necessarily in the position to be able to do that.
I wouldn't say that. I can definitely bring her to a resource that would be very helpful. That's all I was saying. Now, it's fair enough to say that
you don't know these resources. You don't. Why do you keep acting like you know the resources? Like you're intimately familiar with the community. You don't. You said yourself you were going to have to Google it. It was also
I am familiar with the community. I do know the people at the Women's Center that can help redirect her to the proper sources.
Okay, so
it is definitely.
You recognize how you've like totally oversold the level of the level of familiarity you have with the services. You acted as if you were like.
No, I haven't oversold it.
You have, because this doesn't give you any special expertise in helping this person. Just knowing some people at the Women's Center, probably from when you've had a time when you needed help from them. That I don't think that's sufficient.
No, I've had communication with them about this.
Wait, hang on. Breaking news. Breaking news. I'm getting breaking news here from a source. I'm told that apparently, allegedly, you know the artist that was like in the Shotacon stuff that got Tipster in trouble, right? That caused this kind of break from the commentary community. Apparently, she has cut ties with Tipster. I don't know anything about this. I'm just hearing this now. And yeah, apparently it's because Tipster, so I'm told, keeps talking about her, whatever that means. And apparently they had some sort of interview in Matt Pitt's Discord. So the person that he kind of bent over backwards to defend, that caused all this, massive controversy, embarrassing controversy for him, has cut ties as well. Oh boy, not good, not good. Tipster's going to be under that bus forever. And my source is telling me that they'd spoken briefly, and this person admitted Tipster knew the like was accidental before he went and chose to defend the, quote, small breasts of the character and other physical traits. You guys know who it is. Come on. Okay, it's not. I'm fucking around. I'm sure it would be a problem. Hey! How do I make money? Thanks for the gifted, Codex. Appreciate it. You guys know the sources, okay? You obviously, you could guess, okay? Resident Tipstorian. Also, I'll throw this in here whilst we're on the topic, sort of, okay? But Tipster is, honestly, it's bamboozling to me. The direction he's taken his channel now. Because he went from his kind of boogie beef to kind of other stuff, which I guess is like somewhat related to his other stuff. He talked about Finster getting doxed, which aligns a bit with the kind of Keffel's verse. Blue Ranger, homophobic harassment. Elon Musk uses it. That got 3K views. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, they started talking about Olayemi Alurin. Now, anyone outside of the political arena online probably doesn't even know who that is. But they're this black woman who's like the most obnoxious fucking leftoid retard you could imagine, you know? Just to give you an idea of the kind of takes they have, when Illuminati called out Legal Eagle for plagiarism, and it was obviously a stupid claim, this person like was on Illuminati's side. Right? And there's loads of other stuff they've gotten into, you know? I think, were they annoyed about a thumbnail that we did about them? I can't remember. Or was that the Serfs? Anyway, regardless, like this person is like, to a broader audience beyond the Twitch poll scenario, people are not going to know who the fuck it is. So they've got like 2 videos defending Olayemi Alurin. But like out of nowhere, like people on the channel aren't going to know who it is. And it's why these videos are some of the least viewed videos on the channel, you know? Yeah, exactly. He's like deep in the niche far lefty shit when his channel is nowhere close to being set up for that. Like, you're going to get views on stuff about like J.K. Rowling and things like that. Obviously, the stuff with Boogie got a lot of views, 5K views for you know, his normal view size, decent stuff. But then he just pivots to like stuff that's just terrible for the channel, that just isn't going to benefit him, isn't going to help him, and isn't going to get views. There's stuff he could talk about that would be beneficial, but for some reason he's focused on that.
So, chat, I was scrolling through Twitter, I think it was yesterday. Yes, at the time of this stream, it was yesterday that this tweet went out. I follow the Humanist Report. Great content creator, by the way. Highly recommend giving them a look.
So he's in with all the fucking leftist mafia retards as well, apparently, following this guy.
If you're into, you know, left-wing politics, that sort of thing. But anyway, the Humanist Report tweeted this out. And it kind of caught my attention. Oh my fucking God, Eric Adams was not ready to face Olay. He was trembling towards the end of the interview. Whoever agreed to this interview on his team is getting fired, laughing.
Like, also, it's not just the fact this Olay person, okay? It's the fact it's Mayor Eric Adams. Who the... What is he on about? Why are you even, like, making this a whole... Like, it's fine to cover shit you want to cover or whatever, but... It's so baffling that this is the kind of thing he's going to start doing now. Oh, this random leftoid that you've never heard of spoke to Mayor Adams and owned them, and you probably don't know who that is either. Yeah, not really the kind of direction it's probably worth going
my
in.
Ass off. Most devastating interview with a politician I've ever seen.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Now, if you're not familiar
that was him,
with
not me.
Olay is someone.
Oh, is he the mayor of NYC? Okay, so maybe I'm not a fucking Yankoid. I don't follow all your mayors. Okay, so maybe they might know who he is. But even so, you know, it's unlikely that people are going to be interested in this random leftoid owning them, right?
One that I've actually talked about very briefly on this channel before. Ole used to be a co-host of the Leftist Mafia. And some of you guys may remember when we covered the Illuminati situation, they used to do the Leftist Mafia podcast with Illuminati. And so I was kind of critical.
That's because you're ignorant, Chud. We all know who Sadiq Khan is. Yeah, because he's a Muslim and you hate him. Anyway, I just don't understand. This is crazy. TP USA contributors viral meltdown over all gender bathrooms. Libs of TikTok stuff maybe is okay. That's kind of quite broad. Michael Knowles, dude, not good. Not looking good. Not the best best ideas of what to go with.
To a different country.
I've had this communication with one of the specialists at the center who was a psychologist at the hospital. And in terms of that, she had said that if I bring this teen over, then they can definitely help her. Absolutely.
They encouraged you to bring this teen over. Is that what you're saying? You're saying you actually spoke to me about this and they encouraged you to do that?
That's right, and she's a psychologist at the mental hospital.
You told them the situation was that you met a 16-year-old online who said they wanted to kill themselves, and the specialist psychologist at the hospital told you.
And I explained the entire scenario of her situation. That's right.
Okay, nobody is going to believe that, but that's all right.
All right, that's the problem with the internet. And
so
you can keep arguing about it, but
explain to me the timeline on this. Explain to me the timeline on this. So when did you meet this this trans girl, and when did you go to the hospital to have a conversation?
I do not. No, come on. There's no way. That's absurd. There's no fucking way that a professional would say, "Yeah, bring this kid that you don't know to your house."
Conversation about them.
No, this was a specialist at the Women's Center who was working at the hospital.
Okay.
In terms of that, this was around the same timeline, the day after.
It was the day after. So how long were you in communication with the 16-year-old for?
About a week and keeping updates on how she was doing and where she was at.
Does that
just to ensure she was fine.
Not
really.
Updates? Not really.
No, other than she has mentioned to me that she has a specialist now that's helping her, social worker. That's what she's updated me on. But in terms of that, I have no personal involvement in her life, so that's on her. All I've told her is if there's anything you need before I'm in DMs, that's it. But she hasn't been in desperate need, so it's fine for now.
But she was never in desperate need of a place to stay, it doesn't sound like.
Well, as long as she's still getting the support from her parents, nah.
But she was never in need.
It was a concern she
never
had.
needed to go to your place, did she? Though you still haven't. It doesn't feel like you've really justified that. But
well, no, it's probably just based on how she was thinking at the time. But in terms of what could happen, it could to anybody. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
but I wouldn't overthink it.
You should not be doing this stuff. You will do more harm than good putting yourself in these situations. You're on a Discord call right now, like, struggling with this. This is not a particularly contentious interaction. You're struggling with it quite a lot. That you're not the sort of person who should be counseling suicidal teenagers over the internet. This is why people are told to just refer them to the suicide.
Well, I'm struggling with the fact that you were harassing me over being previously homeless.
Wait, what? Now it's harassment. I thought. You're harassing me on this call that I willingly am participating in. Oh no. Let's hear them out.
Well, I'm struggling with the fact that you were harassing me over being previously homeless and hoarding.
Where's the harassing? Where's the harassment?
Yeah. That's okay.
Well, where's the
I think
harassment?
he's genuinely curious. I kind of agree if you're hoarding, it's not necessarily good living conditions. Whether it gets better or worse.
Well, no, it is getting better.
Well,
of course.
But what if tomorrow some shit happens where you break your leg or something, and then the hoarding continues and you cannot get better? Then what?
Depends on what the hoarding is. There is no build-up. That's it.
But what we're trying to say is the hoarding itself is...
it's more complicated. Oh, absolutely. In terms of the level of hoarding that I've seen, yes. But it isn't that level of hoarding. In terms of trying to clean up the mess, it is ADHD issues. But then you're digging into a whole other situation that I've mentioned on my channel. So, I don't know, I just wanted to go back to streaming and gaming.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, you're lucky that now it's been identified that you are not cut out for this and you are going to crumble under any sort of scrutiny or attention. And I just think, rather than do that, invest time in getting your life in order and getting your life together. Because it's so difficult to grow doing this. And when you've already identified that, listen, yeah, everyone's like, keep going. You guys are only saying that because you want the fucking, the glup shitter content. But do not do that. You know, if you got stuff together and you can come back a bit more prepared and fucking do it as a hobby, fine. But like, you clearly have got a lot of shit you need to resolve in your life before you can even think about doing this sort of thing, you know?
Okay. What, do you deal with any other teenagers, or is this like the only one?
This is the only one I've confronted in terms of a crisis situation like this.
Confronted?
I wouldn't necessarily do this necessarily.
Okay, but like communications with teenagers, that's a common thing then? Just not like this?
No. I have not approached teenagers like that at all.
So you confronted, so you saw them, they were typing, what sort of things were they typing in Tipster's Discord or Keffel's Discord when you confronted them?
Well, I did mention it, and it was about her being alone and without her parents for several years. And that she was going through a lot of school troubles.
Sorry, one second. The thing that...
I don't have proof, it was in his server, I'm out of it now.
It's okay, the proof doesn't matter, we can just engage with the statements as they stand. You said the reason you started talking to this person was because you heard they didn't have their parents around.
Yep, that's what they talked about in the general chat. They were basically having a meltdown.
So give me a rough...
Well, all kinds of issues.
Key points of what they said here. Their parents aren't around. In this meltdown, what were they saying? Their parents aren't around. What else?
That they were feeling alone and then they wanted to just give up because they were failing school. It was basically that type of a line.
Got you.
So of course I'd rather, help someone who, if I can understand, I've been through some situation similar as my parent, but not as extensive. So I wanted to, at least offer some help to help bring her back. Because that is a thing. You don't have to be an expert to at least give somebody some compassion. If there is a point where it gets to a point where you logically can help someone, of course you give them other options.
You give them the
call
other
this hotline and that.
Or what you send them to. You're more likely.
Yeah, because we did offer them the suicide hotline and everything else. Like I said, I did go on a tangent in that video. It was an option I offered to her as a last resort. Because we were going through the list.
Oh, sorry. The other thing to bear in mind with this is the reason this came to the forefront and the reason this is like a topic of discussion is because in their second video, following up on responses to their first, they seemingly out of nowhere, to my knowledge, talked about this themselves and said what had happened, which is, in and of itself, like, why say that? Why get into that at all? And then they posted it in my fucking Discord inbox. They put it in my Discord in a place where it's expected that I would see it and maybe watch it on stream. Why? Why would you fucking do that? Obviously, then I'm going to see it. Obviously, I'm going to give a take on it. And obviously, I'm going to think dimly of it. It's just such a big self-L and unnecessary,
And she was like, no, I don't think so. That wouldn't work for me. Because there really wasn't any, nearby options.
You recognize this is exactly why you're being told that you shouldn't have involved yourself in this situation. Because the idea that you're sitting there and trying to come up with new things to add to a list of things that a 16-year-old should do before they kill themselves, and in the effort to try and come up with things they should do before killing themselves, you offer a place to live, potentially forming essentially like a trauma bond with a 16-year-old is what you're doing there. That's why you're told not to get involved in these situations.
Fair point. Look, it's a fair point.
There's no way this person would self-report. They're obviously clueless. Well, I mean, yeah, that's, I guess, another reason why, for me, I wouldn't say that they had any sort of pedo intent or anything, because I'm like, if in their head they were trying to do some sort of like bad thing in their head, they wouldn't talk about it, would they? You know, it's almost more of like they don't see anything like crazy about it, so they say it. But then it's like, well, no, that is crazy. That's a crazy thing to do, and you shouldn't do that, you know? Even if you haven't got any malintent at all, it's just not something you should ever be in the business of doing, you know?
And I was just trying to bring her down, and probably not the best line, but I did offer it. So, in terms of that, it's fair enough to say it was a trauma bond. I could see that. But I had offered her the City Hall, the suicide hotline, and we told her to take a rest and think about it before she ever made a decision like that.
Wait, did she call the suicide hotline?
I'm not exactly sure if she did, but as far as I know, she went to City Hall. But that's as far as I know about it.
I feel like if it was that dire, I would have immediately just had them do that and never would have suggested what you suggested.
I know. No, I did offer the suicide hotline first. I know it sounds like I suggested that first. It wasn't.
No, you said it was the last thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Kuihman?
No, I don't have anything else. No, I think unless there's anything I've missed, people want to quickly shout.
Oh, so you said that you do gaming mods, or that you're in a Discord where they do gaming
mods?
mods?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I've got another one as well. Sorry.
Yeah. What are you curious about that?
Well, you were just saying that you hadn't talked to like minors really like that before, so I'm just trying to figure out like because you said there was minors in that Discord, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm saying there's all kinds of people that start at 13 with coding and that. So we just give them resources to learn coding and that. That's just about it. It's a community Discord. It's not my personal one in particular.
Wait a second.
Yeah, that wasn't really. That's sorry. I'm just trying to say that wasn't necessarily a question asked. We were just trying to clarify that because I asked if you talk to minors like anywhere else, and so you have more or less, whether it's for coding or otherwise, right?
Yeah, sure. There's like all kinds and all kinds of community servers, but directly.
I'll just let you know with like my existing on the internet, I don't talk to minors. Like I don't talk to anyone that's under 18, except my nephew is the only one, and that's a whole thing. But I haven't talked to him in 10 years. He's my brother's kid, but that is it. Everybody else gets immediately blocked for this reason. And like it's more of a preventative thing, not only for them to keep them safe, but for you to stay out of stuff like this.
That's fair.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever?
Yeah, there's never a reason. I mean, particularly 13. I mean, 13 is quite young, isn't it? Like, there's never a good reason to speak to like a 13-year-old on the internet at all. What is this talking point? I'm so confused. What do you mean? Was that supposed to be an own? I don't know what you're talking about, Smaggle. Oh, you just reminded me, actually. Colton came back, didn't he? Colton went on to Lyric's stream and said something and then left. Colton's, in the waters, ready to come back, I think.
I will consider what you have said. Yes, I understand. Maybe I have considered overstepping with this teenager. That to be said.
No, but you did overstep, I think. I think that's kind of a thing.
No, yeah, with offering that, absolutely. I do consider that as the situation, of course. And yeah, next time I just won't offer that if it comes up again.
She's saying if they're in a Discord and Gen chat, she somehow magically knows everyone's age and blocks them. That's mental. Oh, I see. Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you're in a general chat, like, and it's just for a particular purpose, like coding or something, and there happens to be minors in there, and it's a general chat and everyone can see it, I mean, you're not going to know necessarily unless they say, right? But I don't think it needs to be that you block them from a general chat or something. It's if they try and communicate with you directly at that point. If you know that they're a minor, at that point is the time to block, right? Because there's no reason to have that communication. There's no reason to speak to them. It only can potentially end in trouble and problems and issues, you know? Like, there was someone in my Discord who claimed to be 16 and they were acting really fucking weird. And so they got banned from the Discord. And then they emailed me and said weird shit and said that they were this 16-year-old and they said a bunch of weird shit. So I blocked the email. And then it got put in the spam folder. And then there was another thing that they sent when I looked at my spam folder.
Okay, that's
and then
wonderful.
They messaged me on
but
Discord
how do I
after.
Make money off depressed people.
Chud, do you believe this person's a predator?
Thank you for the 350. No, I don't think this person's a predator. No, I don't agree with that. But then later they messaged me and they said, "Oh, hey, Chud, it's me. I'm not really 16. I was just pretending to be 16 or something. Can I get let back into the Discord?" And I just ignored them. I just fucking ignored them. And I was like, what planet are you on? That you're in my Discord pretending to be 16 and then messaging me, I'm guessing because you thought I'd respond and be a fucking nonce or something? I don't know. And then I block you. And then you come back to me and you're like, "Oh, I was just pretending." No, fuck off. You fucking nutter. I want you nowhere close to me in any way, shape, or form. You sound insane. What are you on about? You know, whether you're underage, overage, whatever, this is nuts. No. Why on earth would I want you to be anywhere close to my community? You sound crazy. So, yeah, I think that there's just no need to engage with someone who's, you know, even if they're pretending, like they're just clearly a nutter that probably is trying to pull a fast one and do some crazy shit or something, you know? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just, it's just not worth it. There's absolutely no reason for you to engage. The only exception I would make is like Dingo, for example, although I've not spoken to Dingo for ages, right? So Dingo's a YouTuber who makes commentary type content, who's 16. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with talking to them a bit about content, you know? But obviously, you need to have a sort of duty of care to make sure that there's not any sort of inappropriate shit happening, right? Because even though they're a YouTuber and they make adult type content and they talk about commentary topics, just got to be a bit cautious. But yeah, not having an inappropriate conversation even by accident, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's, with very, very, very few exceptions of like they're a YouTuber and they make similar content to you and you want to maybe help them along a little bit, that's probably fine. Keep it professional. Yeah, exactly. Keep it professional. But beyond that, there's just no need. There's absolutely no reason. And it certainly should not be anything except YouTube and a bit of amicable conversation beyond that. Certainly not inviting them to your fucking house. Ever. Never, 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 never. So yeah, I just think that there's no explanation that excuses this behavior. It was just wrong to do. They can just say that and say, yeah, I was genuinely concerned. I wasn't trying to do anything wrong. I was genuinely concerned about them, but I did push it too far. Fine. But they're not doing that. They're trying to argue that actually what they did was good. And yeah, it's retarded.
In terms of that, I still want to help people step down from, you know, that situation when somebody is suicidal. That is like the mental health I support. There are mental health support groups and other servers for that reason, for people who need it.
Yeah, but those groups have training, accountability, oversight. You're not the person to be doing that. There's a reason why we have these organizations. It's so people like you don't try and do it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And that's why we offered her the suicide hotline. Now, in terms of Discord servers, there is a lot of other strike communities.
You spoke to the 16-year-old about the Vosh, Lolly, and Zoophilia drama?
Oh my god, dude. Come on. Please, God, no.
That was something she brought up, that she was in
that's
these
wonderful. But
other servers, and I said that's more of a concern. And told her that she should step out of those groups and not be involved.
Okay.
What groups?
Okay. If they said that, that's fine. Hey! Dingo. Chud never invited me to his house. He gets hotel like a gentleman. Not only would that make me a fucking nonce, it would make me a gay nonce. Which is obviously, you know. Okay. If that's true, that's good advice. Yes. Okay. Like if for someone that's 16 says to you, "Oh, what about this lolicod horse?" No, don't speak about that. I can't talk to you about that, and you shouldn't be having those conversations. Fucking leave it, you know.
Bosch is
like these other adults. Yeah. That's a real problem.
It sounded like...
Oh, Mavka, you talking about like when you play a game and you get someone that's like younger than you that plays? Well, there's kind of a dynamic there where it's like, if it's a squeaker, the fucking, you know, hey, oh my god, yeah, let's win this one, guys. Oh my god, you fucking suck, dude. You know, if it's a squeaker, obviously that's like a, you know, a single game situation, and you're like, okay, fucking, I don't want to play with a squeaker, right? But if it's like just a younger lad who sounds normal, then yeah, you might play a couple of games with them and it's no problem, right? Yeah, listen, Nico P of AZ, you've obviously share a name. I don't think you're an alt account or anything. I think I've seen you chatting it before. Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
agree
wonderful.
with you. People
But how
are
do I make
overstating it
money
because they want to
off
push the
depressed
fucking
Minus
pedo
or
narrative. I don't think
minus?
that's true. Thank you very much for the $5. Appreciate it. But yeah, also, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think we all understand. Normal people have got an understanding of where the line is, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, and what you should and shouldn't do. And most people are kind of cool with that, you know? It's normally the exception where people don't know the boundaries, so they take it to a point where most people are going to be like, that's weird, you shouldn't do that. And then beyond that, you know, you've obviously got the fucking everyone's a fuck, you know, you've got the kind of pedo people who are obviously pedos and they're going to fucking be pedos, right? But yeah. It's a bit Mama Max adjacent. I mean, kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I just think that yeah, I think people are thirsty for PDF blood, sure. That is a thing.
You said that she was familiar with the topics of lolly and zoophilia or something like that, was what you said, I thought. And that you spoke about that.
Yes. Not me to her. She was what brought up the fact that she was with these types of people and servers. That was the real issue. What my point was is that there should be concern about the types of adults she was interacting with. That's why.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Vosh and the zoophile group. Like, someone that young shouldn't be allowed in those channels at all. So I don't know why there's people who allow it. That's the fucked up part.
But you're talking to them in DMs as well. Like, how can you act like it's fucked up for them to let them in the server when you're...
I have not talked to those people.
No, you've spoken to... No, you've spoken to my... Wait, what... Okay, what group, what people?
Just that she has brought up meeting people who are into zoophile. I have not interacted with these people at all. She was what brought up the information to me, and I told her she should get away from those people.
What?
I'm concerned about what type of people in those servers are allowing that.
They met them where? What, in Vosh's server, or?
Potentially.
Well, okay, so you don't actually know where they
I don't know if she's actually asking. Oh, no, there is a separate server that she was in. I'm just saying she is aware of these topics because of the way that the internet is.
You can tell Korea's trying to grill her for content. Yeah, I mean, sure, there's a grilling for content happening, but like, what do you expect? I don't know. Kuihman's made a couple of videos about this, but it's the way, dude. Nickonerd willingly wanted to participate. Nickonerd wanted to fucking come and speak to me, and I was happy to speak to them about this stuff because they weren't happy with the video, which they've now cancelled. But like, yeah, like they're wanting to come on. And I think that although there's some people that are going to still walk away with the perspective that they're X, Y, and Z, I think that probably is actually fairly reasonable kind of conversation, and they've had a chance to elaborate on some things, but they just seem completely unable to accept the fact that it was crossing a line to try and get them to move in with them, even if it was for in their mind a good reason, right?
Server it was, but sure.
I don't know exactly the server.
Okay.
It was
why is it
server.
Why is it that you're charging yourself with this this duty when you're a pathetic homebody who hasn't had a job in 5 years?
Dude! Oh my god. What the fuck, dude? Okay, that's funny, but that's a bit... Why is Stylo coming in so strong, bro? That's so unnecessary. But it is funny and it is good content, okay? Don't deny that. But it seems like the conversation is at a certain point, and like the Black Blitzkrieg comes in. They're just fucking... What? Why is he coming in with this? That's crazy. I need to listen to that again.
Why is it that you're charging yourself with this this duty when you're a pathetic homebody who hasn't had a job in 5 years?
Because I actually have the hustle to help someone.
You do not have the. If you had the hustle, you'd clean your room. You clean your home. You're making eggs in the microwave.
That's cool.
No, it's not cool. You need to get off the internet. You need a social worker, not this child.
Okay, but I don't need to work for people to have a right to exist. That is my position.
Well, it's not like a right to exist. What's the point of having a right to exist if you live in squalor?
Oh, so it's okay for people to just starve to death and die if you don't like them?
What is that related to what I just said? Huh?
If I'm living in squalor, that's my business, that's my home.
No, but you're inviting some other damaged individual into that business. And then you're making it like public.
Calling them a damaged individual.
Well, because they have like an unhappy home life and they're planning to get trafficked across state lines by some random freak who claims to have childcare expertise.
Interesting words you're throwing out there.
What?
State lines, she's in the same country as I am. She's in the same province or state, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, okay. I think we're splitting hairs at that point, aren't we? Like, the whole point is you're trying to move them from where they are to where you are.
And if you want to say I'm a homebody,
you said it was a different. I thought you said it was in a different. They were in a different country.
I thought so too.
No, I said it was in the same country.
No, you said that they didn't have universal healthcare.
And that's not what I said. I said they didn't have access to it.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Hey, Arctis, thanks for the £2. Oh, Chud, can you help a brother out? Pass me the TP roll. Thank you very much.
How does that make sense?
I think you're playing like word games. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
So you said because they're a foreign national, or what's the deal there?
Foreign national? No,
because it's like if a parents work overseas, their parents live overseas, are they like a foreigner? They come over, so they don't have like they're not on the universal healthcare program, or what's the deal here? What do you mean they don't have access to it?
They don't have access to their own medical information. That's why.
They have access to it?
You don't need it. You just go and fill out with like your social security and
you have
an application online.
Like an ID card, I think would be sufficient.
Well, that's fair if they have it.
Well, you said it like confidently, and now it sounds like you don't know what you're talking about.
You know what you're talking about, but you don't. This is like the whole thing. You think you've probably done more harm than good here, almost definitely.
No, definitely done more harm than good.
And I do not owe the system my right to exist by like.
Well, the system is helping you exist, no?
Yeah, you only exist because of the system. You're starving in the gutter right now without the system.
Yeah,
wait, hang on a sec. Stylo's a bad fucking influence here, man. Kuihman was like quite chill, having the conversation, getting a bit heated at times. But Stylo comes in and starts fucking popping off, and Kuihman's fucking doing it too now. Oh my god, man. That's crazy. I'm loving it.
That's fine.
You're making like microwave eggs
bad cop.
Likely a roach-infested home. I'd like to make sure that's clear. You haven't had a job for 5 years. The system is keeping you alive.
Good. Then let me have my pathetic existence.
Yeah, but don't bring...
It's so tragic, man. And I know what I was going to say anyway. Don't bring someone else into it. But dude, come on. Really? Also, I love the framing as well. Raised conversation. Yeah. Yeah, after a black tornado comes tearing through the call, they left the conversation.
Bring anyone else into it. That's the problem.
And that's not your business.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be yours. That's the problem.
Then I'll make it my business if it's my own.
No, that's you shouldn't be doing that. You're a danger to that child.
No, I'm not. You're assuming I am.
Well, what do you want to have them in your home for? What benefit is that for them?
But to stay and live here, that wasn't what the situation was or the conversation.
That would be funny, right? They're not going to talk to me, I don't think, particularly after I've looked at this call now. But if I could get them on, and then I'm talking to them, and then hang on a second, I've got someone I want to bring on, and Stylo comes on again for round 2. Oh.
But all you're here for is to throw insults at someone for not working, and that's on you, buddy. That's your prejudice.
The prejudice against people who can't contribute to society?
And in what way do you think I'm not contributing to society?
Oh, because you don't have a job.
I'm not working from some corporate. Oh yeah, I'm not contributing.
There's other jobs than like a corporate job, right?
I do think that, like, I do understand the frustration though, because you do have these people who have not got their shit together, who need to get their shit together, and they're kind of just online. You know, you see people like this all the time. Well, oh God, what was that? Oh man. What was that person that Kuihman spoke about ages ago that constantly was pulling GoFundMes and stuff like that? Oh, what's the name of that person? They were like a Wix server and stuff. And they were constantly on asking for handouts. Jenny Burns, yes, exactly. And it's like their existence seems to be funded by the state or by handouts from people on the internet. You know, providing nothing, giving nothing. Oh, no, wait, they did some weird AIR or something like that. But in any case, they're not really doing anything. And they're just subsisting off of like a GoFundMe. Oh, I've got no money and you need to help me. Otherwise, I'm going to not survive or something like that, you know? It's frustrating. And like, it is the classic case of like the internet, rather than being a tool to benefit you, is just a distraction. And you need to turn it off and go and get your shit together and then come back and maybe have a hobby of doing it, you know? But yeah, it seems like at least this person isn't doing GoFundMes and is seemingly being supported by the state at least. But fucking hell, man, it is infuriating. I do get the kind of frustration. But just funny to come into this kind of fairly chill convo that's winding down and just take it up to 10.
I'm not contributing to a rich person.
You can work at like what's the shit called? Like the nonprofit, the co-op type thing. Yeah. Like you could do something to better your society.
Positively to community by not pocketing money into a rich person's pocket.
What did I just say about a nonprofit or a co-op? You could do something beneficial. You could be picking up trash on the side of the road, but you're not. You're living at home, making microwave eggs.
Volunteer.
I wouldn't mind that if they actually made it simple to apply for one.
Well, I think it would be. You just volunteer. It's like volunteer work.
Yeah, it's not exact. You still have to register.
Almost certain it's exact. You have to like.
Wait, can you not?
Are you like a danger to the trash? Are you gonna hurt the trash in some way?
Throw it away. That would be good, but no, it's my physical issues as well.
So you are like a total debilitated wretch, is what I'm hearing. So I was right when I say you have no benefit.
In a lot of ways. So, in your aspect, somebody that has no benefit and can't work if they are disabled should just starve and die. They shouldn't be allowed to live.
No, I think you should.
Oh my God, Nickonerd is not doing the bed blob argument. Surely not. Please, no. They're doing the fucking bed blob argument, dude. They're doing the bed blob shit. Oh, what? So you just want me to starve and die? No. No one is saying that you need to fucking starve and die and perish. It's just saying there's probably more that you could do, and you're limiting yourself in your own perspective and mentality. Oh, man. I can't believe it. We got a bed blob argument in the light. Yeah, perish. Then perish.
If they are disabled, should just starve and die. They shouldn't be allowed to live.
No, I think you shouldn't involve yourself with other people. You should just live your own life and not try to traffic some child across state lines to come live with you. That's what I think.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, it's not whatever. You're doing something that's bad.
I don't know.
Thanks for the membership,
Sorry, if I could go into it, I would.
Well, you should know what your disabilities are. Like you get paid for something every month, right?
Oh no, we're getting onto disabilities.
You get paid from disability every month. Like I know, like Canadian disability. I'm assuming that's where you are. Is like stupid easy to get, but like, what are you on disability for?
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but yeah, I am on disability.
Letty's boyfriend still is on disability, and that man has never worked a day in his life. What is your disability?
Well, the only issue is that if you're applying when you're older, not so much. My cousin got denied, even though she does have problems.
Sure.
Oh man.
So, like, what exactly? Like, do you have like an actual diagnosis of like something other than depression?
Okay, that's
yes.
Wonderful.
I've had asthma and arthritis and all kinds of things.
Chud, I am saying it. They need to starve and die. Judging by the size of this skinwalker, might take a few
disavow.
years.
But thank you, an Austrian Painter, as always, for your support. I appreciate it.
Do you think any of that could be fixed by being active?
Yeah, like losing weight.
Going outside.
And losing weight.
Going and taking dogs for a walk.
I have been trying.
And losing weight.
I am losing the weight. I had to literally get thyroid medication for that.
Oh, it's a thyroid
And I am
issue.
active.
This is more common than people think.
So you are able to do something like.
But he has got a point. Okay, listen. You don't need to say it like that, but he has got a point. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Somewhere. You're not like that disabled, disabled, whatever.
On a regular basis.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Nobody cares.
$2.
It's just to go and be like exist around people. It is important to like socialize and to be out around other people. You know that, right?
Oh, if you're saying that, I don't know what you mean by not socializing. Like I said, I'm out with the community groups.
Like with people on the regular, like on like 3 days a week, you go to a pet shelter and go and walk dogs. Like it's not difficult to do that.
If I could do 3 days a week, but I can't walk dogs. But yeah,
we'll start with like one. Start like with an afternoon.
I'm just throwing out examples. I'm not saying you have to do like jump in head first. I'm just saying
I do like obviously, you know, this is just a fucking Discord call on the internet, right? But like, I do feel sometimes like people do need a bit of like get your shit together, you know? Not saying this is necessarily the right format for that, or this is like some sort of, you know, good deed that's happening. But like, yeah, some people do need to be told, stop, get your fucking shit together and stop fucking around, you know? Because people, you know, oh no, I've got all these, but no, just fucking do something, move forward with your fucking life, you know? Yeah, this shit sucks and you can have problems and stuff like that, but fuck me, pull your shit together, you know? Certainly pull your shit together. I mean, you shouldn't be doing it anyway, but, you know, the idea that you haven't got your shit together and you're thinking you're capable of helping a 16, it's a distraction. Oh my God. It's a distraction from sorting your own shit out. It's like an excuse. It becomes an excuse. Oh, well, I've got my own issues, but I'm an online activist and you've got to do this. Oh, I've got my own issues, but oh, there's this 16-year-old that needs help. Oh, I better help them. And no, sort your life out. That is what you need to fucking do. You're using this as a distraction to stop yourself from looking inwards and getting your shit together. That is what is happening here.
Our solutions. I'm just hearing a lot of like reasons as to why you can't. And it's hard for us to be like, give you benefit when you're just only giving us doubt.
No, I'm granting you that. I just don't find the options here. That's why.
And that kind of comes back to the original problem of if you can't find the solutions for yourself, then why should you offer solutions for a kid?
In terms of the resources for sheltering and that, there is. That's why.
You should not take care of other people if you have to ask for help for even yourself as far as your existence. So like socially, physically, with your housing, whatever wise, like you still get paid from disability. That's still getting help, regardless of whether it's a job or whatever.
And getting help is not a problem. Getting help is not an issue, and there's no reason to shame people for that.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I have a hard time with getting help myself. I get it. I'm not saying there's a problem there. I'm just saying that it's hard for me or most people to give you the benefit of like offering that or to welcome that space to anybody if you aren't getting help yourself. That's what I'm trying to say.
If I'm not getting help myself, I already stated I am. I don't know where this is going.
I'm just saying you are in no place to help people if you are still struggling yourself. That's what I'm trying to fucking say.
You can't walk dogs 3 times a week. You shouldn't be helping people.
Oh, really? So I can't just bring them over somewhere that I can have time for? If I have time in a day where I have the energy to go out and do such a thing, I can. But
yeah, this is exactly what it is, isn't it? This is precisely it. It's a distraction to prevent themselves from sorting their shit out and getting it together.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Been in this mindset before, blaming everything and everyone else to why I couldn't work. Glad I escaped it. It's all excuses for being lazy. It's insufferable to hear from the outside.
Thank you very much for the $10. Appreciate it. That is very true. Yeah. No, it is absolutely. Oh, there's this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. Okay. With very, very like narrow, there's a narrow slice of the society that cannot genuinely work. Okay. But normally they are full-blown vegetables or something like that. Like they literally do not have consciousness. They're in a coma or they're so debilitated that in every way that they can't do it. But that is like so slim. The vast, vast majority of people can do something productive that will earn them an income. Okay? It's something. They can do something. And if you do something and you have some value and purpose in your life, then that is going to help you and push you forward and enable you to,
wonderful.
you know,
but how do I make
improve and develop yourself and move
people?
forward further,
Chud,
you know?
If you ever get the chance to speak to this freak, can we have Discord call-ins? Shame and berate these individuals. The cope ice cream for these freaks is the internet and being a Discord or Reddit mod. Pathetic degenerate behavior.
Thank you for the 333. I'm not sure if an Austrian painter, I'm not sure about that one. If an Austrian painter would be quite right to come on and speak to them. But yeah, I'll consider it. Thank you very much for the 333. Severe depression can be paralyzing, but yeah, look, having depression sucks. Okay, most people have had some sort of mental stuff going on and have had to deal with it, and it can be horrible. But honestly, sometimes it is. You need to sort your shit out, not this fucking enabling softly shit, you know?
On a regular basis? Not so much. That doesn't mean I can't just get out one day or so.
Well, you should do that instead of trying to help random people on the internet who you cannot help.
And I have been helping people in my life as well, so thank you.
You know, a lot of what you say rings hollow when, like, your first instinct after being blown out of Tipster's community was to try to ruin his life. Like, you talk about wanting to stop people from committing suicide. One of the biggest reasons people commit suicide is losing all of their income. So why was that, like, your first instinct to try to ruin his life?
Oh, good question.
I wasn't going to take away his income.
Well, why did you bring it up at all? Why was that relevant to bring up?
Because in terms of him being a socialist at all, he's hypocritical.
Yeah, Tipster is a fat hypocrite. Everyone knew that. We knew that going in.
Yeah. But in terms of that, it was more so to point out to him. I think he's still a fucking idiot. He didn't get it. But
yeah,
regardless. Yeah,
like, you're talking about how he's delusional when we're speaking to you right now. Is that not, like, ironic to you?
No, because you're bringing up points that are not relevant to the situation.
You think Tipster might respond the exact same way?
Do I give a fuck what he thinks?
Why should we give a fuck what you think? Right?
Then don't. Why do you care then? Why are you here?
Because you're trying to harm people, and you think it's helping.
I'm harming someone by redirecting them to a resource that could help them. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's not really what happened, though, is it? You offered them to come and stay at your house where they would undoubtedly be in the worst position. Also, you just injected.
There was no reason to reveal the information that was revealed. Okay, there was literally no reason, no purpose. It wasn't necessary. It was just excessive. They could have made all their little piece about Tipster and said that they were bad and idiot, whatever. You know, it was gratuitous. Okay, and you know, I just don't think that someone's income is necessary for any. Why would you ever need to know someone's income?
But how do I make money?
There's a reason we tend to keep that private to us, right?
If 90-year-olds can greet at Walmart and people who literally can't talk or read can tear my tickets at the movies, there is zero excuses for anyone to not work unless you've retired and earned it.
Thank you for the $10. Appreciate it. We got a little. We're gonna, after we finished. We'll wait till they rage quit, and then I got a bit of Tipster stuff. Okay. I think you should be transparent about your income. Why? I think people have got a rough gauge. Well, in any case, you know, I always say to people, don't support me because you think you need to, because I need the financial support. Do it because you like my content, you know? So it's kind of irrelevant what my income is. Like, people are giving me money because they like my content.
A house where I could redirect them the next day
Hopefully.
To a resource that will help them, that will take them in.
Why not do that without putting them in your home? That's dirty and disgusting.
I could do that. That's pretty much.
No, you should do that. And it's actually, you shouldn't be involved at all.
No, I will be if I need to be. I need to step.
You don't need to be. That's the problem.
No.
This is the delusion I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's no circumstance where you need to be, or even where you should be. Literally no circumstance where you should be doing that.
You offered zero value to society broadly. I don't know how you can offer value to this child who needs help.
I'm offering value in terms of helping people in my community as well as some people online.
Okay,
I do not.
YouTube scamming you. I keep trying to send super chats. They go through on my card. They don't show up here and refund me after 24 hours. Really? Tyler Hall. Normally you've got some interesting perspectives. Bit spicy, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Anyway, I don't know what's going on with that. That's annoying.
How are you helping people?
How are you helping people? You just said a minute ago you're helping people.
Can't walk
How do you
dogs.
do that? How do you help people? What do you do?
I offer my support.
How? What sort of support? To who?
Oh no.
I don't know what other elaboration you need.
Well, because there's many types of support.
Anything
like,
more specific than that, yeah. Anything
we
more
know
specific.
it's not financial support.
Nah, I don't need to bring up any more specifics.
I just don't believe that. I just think you're lying again, because you lied about the familiarity you had with the services in your area.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you think streamers should be transparent about their income, that you're fine to have that opinion. But the problem that you've got is that transparency. I think making an effort to obscure the amount that you're making from a source is just shitty. I don't think you need to do that. Like, I don't think that you need to obscure your Patreon income, for example. I don't think it's cringe when people do that. But I don't think you need to be open necessarily about what your income is in total. Like, why? What? Like, it's literally all downsides as a content creator, because all people will do is fucking pick it apart and talk about it and fucking all this kind of shit, you know? I think that as long as a person is, you know, I would say the only time I would agree with that is if someone is doing the whole, oh, I can't afford my rent or something like that, you know? Like, for example, if they want to do like, I can't afford to pay my rent this month. In that case, I think the right thing to do is to demonstrate that, you know, you've got like a genuine issue, because I think it's far too easy for people to act like they've got a problem, but they don't have a problem. Maybe their spending is fucking stupid. Maybe there's some other issue, you know, or something like that. But I just think it's totally crazy to think that you can just say, oh, I can't afford my rent, give me money. And people might believe that and pay money. And you might be in a worse off position than the streamer is, but you're still going to give them money because they're putting on a fucking emotional plea or something like that, you know? I only make about $100 a month on the Patreon. I've been shilling it a bit more recently, but not that much really. But there's not really anything extra that happens on there. It's just a way of giving me a few bucks, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that unless you're begging for money for rent or something, they don't need to.
Yeah. You lied about being a digital activist. You just meant that you're like a producer sped for Discords, like. I think you're just lying again. I don't, yeah, you don't do activism. You don't do any activism.
Oh, the cold hard truth.
You're like laughing
on your side to think of what you want.
What activism do you do?
Yeah, because I see you're just attacking issues that have nothing to do with the main points, and this is
no. It's about
these are all the main points. These are all in your videos. So yeah, this okay. They left.
Oh,
we won.
Thank you. I don't
They left.
I don't know. I want to know what social worker, like child care specialist, would tell some like obese microwave egger that they can traffic a child across like province state lines without meeting with the child or like knowing the child's situation, knowing the parents. You're just making shit up. You're lying. Sorry. Not sorry, actually. That's fucked up. I said that. I'm not sorry. You're a freak.
Well,
I don't. I think it was very shitty for them to do that. I think if you're gonna like, you can't say stuff like this and then just complain about how people are calling you a creep or whatever. Like inherently, it's creepy to do.
Like it's
right. Yeah, Starter needs to be careful. He's gonna have a fucking Kiwi Farms death count. But no, look, like I'm not. This isn't the right format for it necessarily. Okay, maybe Starlo feels like he was doing an intervention, but this Nico person comes across as someone who needs to be told by someone. You are making excuses and you are finding reasons to not get your own house in order. A bit of Jordan Peterson, I think, is necessary, you know? Bit of Jordan Peterson situation. Get your own house, get your own affairs in order. Before you start, well, you shouldn't be doing that anyway, but, you know, just fucking get your own shit out. Get off the fucking internet with this, you know. It's so crazy to me that people think that they can have time to dedicate to a hobbyist channel. I mean, it's the classic meme, isn't it? Of someone who hasn't got anything else going on, puts all the effort into this online thing to like no viewers, and then acts like that's what they're doing, or that's the thing that is important. It's like, no, that's a fucking luxury that you can engage in as a hobby if you've got other things going on, if you've got your affairs in order, you know? Like, sort your shit out. Sort your life out.